world, I sit back like, why bother? But get a different view every time that I call a dollar. It's like Numi got the Uzi, man, she always speaking facts. She be dropping bombs, make all of them double back. And then the crime raises. It's something they never gonna get that. But it's cool, let's sit back and chit chat. Unveiled
Gotta be
mindset.
stoic, you can't be frail. If you stay on track, you can't derail. If you stick around long enough, you for surely be unveiled. What's poppin'? What's did it? Welcome everybody to the Unveiled Mindset podcast, hosted by me, Dara Kande, my lovely wife Numso Kaba, and two wonderful guests here today. Suman Kaba, aka Kaba the Crackator, and we got Kabin, aka Bean, Mr. Kleptomanian, but he's changed man. He's a changed man, IT man. Yes, sir. Now let's get into it, and don't forget to subscribe. We're going to leave the link in the description. Unveil Mindset, Unveil_Mindset on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok, on YouTube, and everything. We're going to the top.
Welcome. We're super excited for this episode. Before we get into it, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, Unveiled Mindset is a platform in which we have enlightening and purpose-filled conversations that nurture growth and unveils the mind. So, let's get into it.
This conversation is so intriguing, bro. I love this conversation. It's so unveiling, right? And, the thing is like everybody's got a talent. God gave, gifts to everybody, but in different ways, right? Mm-hmm. You just got to tap into it. With all of us here, right? Do we like the way life is? Do we like the way how life is constructed? Yes or no?
It's the only way that I know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So, okay, but everybody got a creative mind, right? Mm-hmm. If you was to create a perfect, life on earth, everybody would give a different answer, right? Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be this, correct? Mm-hmm. Right?
I think to me, the perfect would be everyone tapping into what's in them and being the best that they can be.
Okay, but so yours might be different from somebody else.
Yes.
Right? Okay, but you see how answers can be different? Mm-hmm. Okay, so my whole point is, would all of us want to be rich, right? Can we all be rich?
Yes.
Right? We all can, right?
Yes.
But are we all going to be rich? I'm talking about not us, just in general. Are we all going to be rich? No. Right?
No.
Okay. So would you prefer everybody on earth to be rich? No. Okay. Right? You don't want everybody to be on earth to be rich, right? The same thing you were saying about
Can everyone on earth be rich?
No, I'm saying you can. If you got the might, you can. But I'm saying everybody.
No, what I'm saying is, can everyone be rich? If everyone is rich,
that's what I'm saying.
Things are going to be more expensive, and you can no longer afford.
That's the whole point, right? That's what I'm saying.
It's not even about the affording. It's just life has issues because life. That's what makes life worth it.
But if everyone has a dollar. If let's say, like right now, some people have $1, some people don't, right? Mm-hmm. They have a couple cents. Mm-hmm. If everyone has $1, now the price is $2. Who has $2? And who has $1?
That's what I'm saying. I agree. My whole point is, right, we all strive for greatness, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, you want your close friends to be rich, right? We say everybody, if you got the might, if you put in work, you have a high chance of becoming rich. Yeah. But all of us not gonna be rich, right? Because it's just not gonna happen. Mm-hmm. So when Cabinet was saying why God made Tyreek this and make this, everybody, and Numsa was saying, I'm trying to conjure it together, right? Mm-hmm. Numsa say you got skills to tap into. Mm-hmm. You just have to find it. Mm-hmm. So Tyreek might be a super athlete, right? God made him and made you different, right? Yeah. So if things weren't different, we all be the same, then there's no purpose in life, right? Yep. So, we're all happy. So where's the sad and angry people?
Yeah.
Without it, then what's happiness?
Yep.
Right? Okay. I'm not a hater, but with no hate, my no hate has no value.
Yep.
So, right? So
what is light without darkness?
Right.
Or something like that.
So
right?
I always had this concept. I thought about it. I said, all right. In our culture, they say don't even question nothing about God, right? So I won't question God, right? Loudly, loudly, I won't question God, but quietly, there's a voice inside of me that's asking questions, and sometimes I be like, no, don't think like that. No, don't think like that, because the culture is saying don't ask questions. So that go even beyond religion, because you carry that mindset everywhere in a job. When it comes to negotiating prices, when it comes to living your life, right? It just holds you captive, right? You don't want to ask questions, right? And if God truly loves us, right? Care about us, whatever, he do whatever, he shouldn't have any problem us asking questions.
So it's
right?
the people.
Okay, exactly. So my whole point is, right, the fact that he mentioned, like, why would God, like, end up, let these people die, but save these people? It doesn't make sense, right? So is God, that's a question. Is God, they say God is good all the time. So is God good all the time? Or does God come with a balance? Sometimes God can be evil, sometimes God can be good. That's the question I'm asking, right? And I'm not saying before people, what are you talking about? It's a question because we don't understand what God does. So I'm asking the question, is God good all the time? Or sometimes God also has a balance. Like sometimes, that's the way you got to get rid of some people to bring the new generation. Is that's how it works? I don't know. Why would an innocent baby get hit by a car? I don't know. Why would somebody kill 1,000 people and be rich and forever? Don't go through no hardship. Why? We can say, they're going to hell. We don't know, right? It's all a suggestion, right? We're all guessing. But is God good all the time or God come with a balance? That's the question.
Does God even play a role in the way life goes?
That's a good one.
Or to your point, does God even play a role? Meaning the baby, God forbid, but like the car crash, exactly. The person hit the baby, right? Because right now it's free will. The person hit the baby, and here's the thing, right? One thing, the only thing that's guaranteed in this life isn't that you're going to reach your destiny, meaning that isn't that you're going to to tap into what God has for you. You have to do that for yourself, and you have to be strong enough to look within and to see whatever that is, right? So that is not the guaranteed thing. The only thing that's guaranteed in this life is death, right? So whether it's early, middle, later, it's death. And the thing is, the way that we are in society, when death happens earlier than a specific demographic in terms of like age, it's looked upon as sadder than if, you've lived all the way until 110. Okay, it's okay now, you can go or you can pass, right? I feel more okay with that. Yeah. However, that can also be thought about as this other person didn't have the opportunity to do all of these things that they had the opportunity. But if it's someone who's 100 versus someone who's, very youthful, like on both ends, it was guaranteed at some point in time. It's unfortunate that the one that's younger didn't have the opportunity to continue, that
right there, just like every time you guys say something, it just open up new portals, right? So like, so is God good all the time, or is God come with a balance,
it's
right?
Humans,
right? So, exactly. So time to say that God hit the baby or you hit the baby.
The person hit the baby.
I like that, right? Because
free will.
Because look, and I'm gonna give a chance for everybody to like go through something that they went through, right, and explain it, and then you let me know if that's God or if that's you, right? So when I crashed the car, right, I was studying for mad hours, and I was out doing stuff, right, and I was on my phone, literally watching a video reaction. Swear to God, right? I'm like this, and I did this a couple times, at least twice. I was like, man, I'm good. So I'm driving, and the third time, no. The first two times, I should have changed, right? Then boom. I'm like, oh my God, I can't catch a break. I can't catch it. So I'm like, bro, like, what is then you start looking up the sky, like, what is going on? Like, bro, there's nothing in the sky but planes and birds and stars. I'm like, damn, what is going on? Bro, like, I even come on, I'm like, man, I must be unlucky. Then when you sit back and you analyze it, bro, I had 2 chances to stop doing it.
And yep.
Then I went and crashed, right? So I'm asking you guys, right? Have it ever been a time where you went through something and you blame God and not blame yourself?
Before that, in that particular example, right? To me, perhaps you going like this twice and nothing happening, perhaps what was a sign from God of, hello, pay attention. Hello, pay attention, right? And then the crash that he did have, right? Luckily, your car got significantly impacted, but luckily no one got hurt.
That's a sign.
No one got hurt. It could have been worse.
My question is,
so maybe that was the third sign.
Probability.
Listen. Maybe that was the third sign that finally got in.
Yeah. Well, it didn't get in because I crashed.
No. The third sign was the crash.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a detrimental crash to someone's health that could have landed you in a negative,
True.
Okay,
I got lucky.
My question, why you was driving that night on your phone?
It was a day.
That day on your phone, right? God corrected your behavior right then and there, right? Why was Jeffrey Epstein molesting kids for years and God never corrected his behavior?
That's a good question.
Years later. Why
Okay.
did you get the punishment there?
Why God didn't?
Why did God run free? Why did he run?
Okay, let's go.
Wait,
Let's go.
I have a
Let's go.
response. I have a response.
Why was his behavior?
I have a
not-
response.
Why didn't his plane crash or his
Wait.
wall rip off his plane
Okay.
the first time he took kids to
Okay.
a
Go
party?
ahead, so go ahead,
I want to
so-
say something. Okay, so
I'm gonna let my brother
perhaps, and because in this situation, in this situation, right? Okay, you had the hello, pay attention, right? Skirt, boom, he hit a car, right? Okay, it's free will. Somebody can be hard-headed. Even that doesn't stop them. They continue to watch reaction videos, and then it lands them into something that's fatal for them, right? So, in the same sense of him, right? Who knows? Perhaps certain things happen. Someone caught or something happened, and it was like, okay, he received some sort of like trouble or something happened that wasn't big enough to continue to stop his actions. He continued, right? And then perhaps, I don't know, maybe then he ended up burning, right? And then now he's dealing.
Who ended up burning?
Man didn't burn.
maybe he's burning.
You sound like the
Am I in hell?
Like a disease.
I was about to say, I thought the devil was in here. I said the devil didn't appear. Who's
Maybe
burning?
he has a disease that no one. Maybe he's suffering. Maybe he's suffering every time he uses the bathroom, but then continues. You're gonna say maybe there are things that are happening in his personal life that like is continuously like inflicting something that like, yo, change your behaviors. However, it's free will, so he will either choose to continue or choose to stop. You get what I'm saying?
You know what?
Okay.
Go ahead. No, ask your question again.
Okay, and then now, how does he choose then who gets to be the unlucky individuals that he does those things to? Right.
What do you mean?
Most of them are kids. Like kids, at that point,
That's free will.
But
The
kid
kids-
is not choosing to end up on Epstein's plane.
It's not. It's Epstein. He is the one.
But he's saying. So what about those kids? Why God didn't do nothing about those kids?
Where's
Why?
the interference there?
Yeah. Where's?
I think that the interference may mainly come in like
you might not see it.
someone was on their way to somewhere and something happened, but they still made it there. Like, you
Look,
get what
though.
I'm saying? You missed your bus or you
So
did
look.
something happen, but you still, I think there's free will.
No. So that's the thing, right? And then again, it's all probability, right? So that was a great question, right?
He's
So
burning.
it's God. So can we say right now? Let's just go into like a maze, right? Let's just imagine. So let's just say God is responsible and the devil is irresponsible. So there's a constant battle between the two, to see who got a stronger will, right? Who got a stronger might. And when bad things happen, that's the devil's will and the devil's might. When good things happen, that's the God's might. Sometimes the devil wins, sometimes God lose, but at the end of the day, we have to look at the overall, who's winning more, right? So
I think it's free will, people's will,
right.
though.
So, but somebody also, so if somebody was here right now, if it was another me right here right now, I would say Dado. So, who also created the devil? Isn't it God? You're right. So again, let's go off probability. Let me just make sense out of this. So let's say the guy is responsible. So those kids, who's responsible for those kids before they even get to Epstein?
Their parents.
Okay, so the parents are grown enough.
Or even R. Kelly.
Right, exactly, right. So at some point when a kid's brain, let's say a person's brain doesn't develop until you're like 20, 24, 25,
Something.
right?
Yeah.
So those kids, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, so maybe God, don't do that. You know, one day you're going to get caught and then this is going to happen. This is going to happen to your kid. And you sit there, you reflect like, And I'm not saying those parents went and gave or whatever, but
yeah.
that's your kid's your responsibility. If you let your kid go out on the street and get hit by a car, you got to take responsibility for that, right? So it's like, so would you saying like why they got to do nothing about that? Maybe God tried to intervene, but the devil might was strong. The devil will was strong,
And the human's free will continued.
but the battle against that is God has is the most powerful, and then also created the devil, right?
But
when he
God
cast him
promised
out of
us
heaven.
free will.
Yeah, but to God, what you're saying, I give that responsible. God responsible, the devil irresponsible to your argument. But the cabinet argument, okay, that could be the case, but you also made the person that's irresponsible and causing all this problem. So that's why I asked the question: is God good all the time, or does God come with a balance, good and bad? We all have some good in us. We all have some bad in us.
Yeah, I still stick to that answer of
for
free will.
I understand free will,
humans.
but what I'm saying, right? We're all supposed to be godlike. That's what we strive for, right? But all of us do bad thing and we do good thing, right?
Yep.
So a good person can do bad thing, and a horrible person can do good things.
Yeah, but under the religion, though, right? Like, I think under a lot of religions, it's in this lifetime that we are into now, right? We have the free will. We are promised the free will, and that's kind of what it is. In the next lifetime, which none of us have been there and come back and told the others, right, about it. However, in the next lifetime that a lot of people believe in, right, that I believe in, it is a lifetime in which where you're getting at, okay, good. Now it's all good, right? This is all good that's here, and eternal good. So, and I don't even want to get into that because there's really nothing to talk about. None of us have been there to come back and be like, this was my experience, right? But so I just wanted to point it and say that like in there is an acknowledgement. The idea is that here there's a balance because we have this free will. And then afterwards is where, okay, I'm stepping in. I'm not allowing this, not allowing that, not allowing this like to happen.
Yeah, and I think religion is so important that we don't understand the importance of it, right? Religion can be so lucrative, and it also can hold you down if it's not used the right way. I always say religion is like a tool. It's up to you to use that tool the right way, right? So I always say, I never came to this understanding or this conclusion until me and Numso had a back and forth. We always have a back and forth. And this is the realest shit, right? Like, again, I was arguing with him, so I'm like, yo, I was very combative against religion, right? Because it's certain things that I don't understand. Like Kevin was saying, information is so important that when you start asking questions and nobody's giving you an answer, you're going to be mad. Because I'm starting to think that everything you were feeding me was bullshit. Because whatever information you're giving me, you don't even know the meaning of it. So a lot of time when I go back and forth with people with religion, it's not necessarily that it's the religion, right? It's how you guys taught it to us, how you guys made us receive that information. Now, when I ask you about certain questions, you don't know
like
the meaning,
no
right?
Actual comprehension.
Exactly. You don't know the meaning. You don't know. So I'm like, so I understand what this is saying. You don't understand it. You went and sauced it up. Exactly. You went and sauced it up, made it something that it's not. So if you take a religion, the Quran, the Bible, whatever it is, if you use it and read it and understand it and comprehend it and use it and construct your life around it and use it as motivation, bro, you will be okay. Like if you read
be
it,
more than okay,
right? But people use it like they use that against us. Like they use that in culture to hold us down.
Right.
So people understand it. Like
expand on that.
Everything. Okay. Like everything goes out the window when it comes to like culture, especially religion. Right.
It makes you more lazy.
So I always say people always worry about the afterlife,
right?
Not the real life. We worry about what's gonna happen after, right? So a lot of time that's where the laziness come in, right? Yeah. Because we depend on God so much. Why would you depend on God so much when God gave you the strength and the knowledge and everything that you need here to use? You got eyes to see, you got hands to use, you got feet, legs to walk, right? You got ears to hear information, see information, speak information, and make it manifest and make it your reality, right? So we don't take that. We usually what we do, if something go bad, we say, alale, it's God. You know, just it's God. Listen, bro, what are you doing to fix that? Nobody's doing nothing to fix that, right? So I always ask Numso, we're gonna have another segment on this, like not today. I was going through so much stuff, and I even like me and Baru even talked about. I'm like, Cabinet doesn't even know. That's what the book was talking about, Think and Grow Rich, when he was talking about somebody
subconsciously
impacts you, right? So he doesn't. This is my first time telling him. I think I told you, and I told Baru.
Yeah.
Like when I lost my father and when I lost my best friend. And I was going through a whole bunch of stuff, right? And when we came back from a trip from Texas, and it was me and Cabinet, we came back, and then my house was flooded, right? And then I was staying at Cabinet house. But he doesn't even know how that impacted me, right? Because I was going through stuff he doesn't even know. Because I'm not the type of person to like take my issue and put it on somebody, right? Because to me, I feel like that's selfish, right? So, like the fact at that time I was, Cabinet, let's go to the gym. Cabinet, let's go to the gym. That's because Matt was the one I was going to the gym all the time, right? So Cabinet is sometimes like, okay, let's go. Sometimes he's tired, but
and who's Matt?
Yes, so, Matt is my best friend, right? Rest in peace. So that, right? So he was no longer there, right? He was like my crutch. He was no longer there. my crutch, right? So, like, I would tell Cam, let's go, whatever. Sometimes he wouldn't even know. He'd be on the phone. I'll come in, I'll just spark a conversation because I was in need, right? But I didn't have nobody to talk to. So, like, we would go to the gym because usually when my dad passed away, guess who was in the gym with me 4 a.m. in the morning? Matt, right? So, at that time, like, I'm like, yo, Cam, let's go. So, at that time, he was my Matt, right? So, he didn't even know that. But, I'm not and subconsciously, it's happening. I don't even know how much of a help he was to me, right? Because
like
mind you, if he wasn't my house was flooded. I was going through a lot of stuff, but I was able to go to his house. I didn't spend no money. He was buying all the food. He was like, he was like, come on, let's go over there. He would buy all the food and all of that. He would cook and all that. We laugh and all that. And that time, like, that was the turning point for me, right? That time was the turning point for me. Because one time we left the gym. I don't know where he was at, but no, that's after he moved to DC, right? And then when he went to DC, I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Right? This is all in my subconscious, meaning I don't have full control of my subconscious. It's all type of things going on in my head. So
But now, and as we're reading different books, like you're
reflecting
back
right?
at that moment.
So this the day when he left. I remember he took all the couch. I came back, the house was empty, right? And I was hoping he'd leave the couch, right? Because I was like, all right, no, for real. So he took that came like there was nothing there. So I started like, I'm like, okay, that when he took the couch, right? Swear to you. When he took the couch and left, when I came back, the house is empty. I sat back. I was like, this is me right now. The fact that he removed that couch, I'm empty right now, right in my soul. So I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I started finding little stuff, like little couch, little chair, and start putting it in front of, there's no TV. So I started putting stuff in front. I'm like, okay, this is I have to start from a clean slate. This is my canvas now. Like, let me build this picture. So I started putting seats and stuff like that. I would go clean up. I would try to like make it like my home inside of my head, but I'm doing it physically. The room, the same thing. So I went and sat down. I look at like by the bathroom. There's another door by the bathroom. There's a mirror right here. So I'm looking at the mirror and I'm looking at myself. And then at the time I was like, am I cursed? I'm like, I can't be gifted because in my heart, I'm a good person, right? I feel like I'm a good person. And I was going through a lot. Even all the people that I got into it with, like that, some of it might have been my fault. Some of it might have been their fault. But I was going through so much that nobody even knows. Like, y'all, my friend, y'all don't even know what I was going through, right? Yeah. So I sat down, I looked at the mirror, and I was like, am I gifted or am I cursed? I was like, I don't get it. I'm like, I got a loving mother. I got a father that care about me, right? And I wasn't even able to spend a lot of time with my father, right? Yeah. That's why I'm working right now to get information to write about, about his life, right? So I said, I reflected, I looked at myself, I was like, am I gifted or am I cursed? I was like, what do I need to do right now? At the time, Numso and Aisha was I was talking to them all the time, Mo or whatever, and then Baru too. So I was like, I sat down. It was like one more. It was the breaking point for me. I was like, it's either I'm gonna go this way, or I'm gonna go that way. Because at one point I thought about everything, bro. I'm like, I don't want to be here no more. This and that, boom, boom, boom. Instantly, something changed, right? Because I'm like, man, wait a minute. I said, I'm Guinean. 1, 2, I'm a Conde. 3, I know where I come from. I know my mother loved me to death. I know my father, my friends. I said, why would I even think of this? But you won't think that you would think about stuff like that until you start going through it. Yeah. I was like, no way. I said, I'm not doing that. So I was like, I'm gonna change my life. I'm like, what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna start from like the people I talk to, the people I surround myself to. I stop all of that, right? At some point, the only person I was talking to was Numso. It's weird, right? The only person I was talking to was Numso. I was talking to Aisha, but I was talking to Numso every day. I was taking my little brothers, my cousins to like drive his head. Remember that? Around, yeah. And then after school, I was home every day, bored, out of my mind. But at the same time, what I did, I sat down, took time, went like reflected, where I was able to take control of my inner self and talk to myself, right? It's a voice in my head. I always say, I even wrote it, right? I said the devil was my best friend, right? The devil was my closest friend. Like you, MDG, y'all was there, but eventually you guys gotta have to go and deal with y'all stuff, right? I said the devil was my best friend, and I'm like, it's like, no, not my best friend, my closest friend. He wasn't good to me, but it was my closest friend, because no matter what it is, he was always there. Right? I'm like, hey, you put me through so much, but it was always there. I couldn't hear the angel loud enough, but the devil was loud as hell. right? So it
And
always
when you say the devil, like, what do you mean? You
Meaning
mean like
I had
the self-doubt.
Yeah, because people, it's not no spooky thing. It's a
clarify.
voice in your head. It's a voice in your head. I call it God conscious, right?
Yeah.
It's the voice in your head. It's the one voice that tell you to do good, the voice that tell you to do bad.
Yeah.
The voice that tell you to do
Or
bad.
feel bad,
Or
too.
feel bad, right? Oh, you're not good enough. You just that's the devil I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was always there, right? So whenever I try to come back, right? So it always reel me in, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, bro, how do I stop this voice in my head, bro? How can I make this voice shut up, right? So whenever this voice talk to me, I think about something I dislike. So every time I do that, I start, getting away from it, right? So I started building barriers, having different conversation, changing my life, stop going out all the time, stop being around certain people, right? And then because of that, my life started getting better. I started seeing change. It was boring and it's lonely, but I started seeing change and more change, right? And that's why I say, like, it was people, like, right now, I want to say that I appreciate, like, you being there for me, because he doesn't even understand what he did for me. Like, I used to go to a night crying by myself. It was only me and my dog, Goku. You know what I'm saying? I used to go through all the time. I don't even understand. And then my car got stolen. I called cabinet. And then we laughed about it, right? No, it's funny. Like, bro, we laughed about it. I was going through so much stuff. Flying over here to come see Numso. The day I was supposed to fly, I got into a car accident. Yeah, I remember that. So I was going through so much stuff. And I was asking him something like, yo, why you even want to talk to me? Like, I kept asking her that, because that's me doubting myself, right?
He kept randomly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's
why
doubting
are you
myself.
asking me these questions? What?
So this is like a mind.
know?
This is like a mindset that parents won't understand, right? And I don't blame them. Like, you don't know if you don't know. So that's why I say, like, me, that's the reason why I was so combative against religion, because you guys are not giving me the answer, or just say, yo, take it for what it is and then use it for good. So that's what I'm saying. If you take religion and use it properly and take the information that you need, you're going to put yourself in a better position.
And I want to, so adding just to the point where you're making, like, and the connection with religion, right? So I think you're specifically referring to this habit that a lot of people have, and I think especially, back home of, okay, if it's meant to be, it'll happen, which I think it's true, but, listen, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. If it's not meant to be, it won't happen, without action, right? That key word, without action, meaning if you go through a heartache and a challenge, and you're trying to achieve something, and you fail, a lot of people have that, well, if it's meant for me, then, God is going to bring it to me. Right. And they don't understand that, God, it's not just God in the sky sitting, waiting. Okay, we're going to reconnect at Judgment Day. Like, I personally believe that in your everyday life, in your everyday interaction, at every second, even in between seconds, God is always with you. God is always there, and God consistently communicates with you. And so the ability to, the person will be like, damn, I didn't achieve this specific goal. And, if it's meant to be, it'll come to me. And rather than, and then keep having ideas about the goals, right? Not knowing that, to me, the ideas that come in your mind are actually, like, I think that this is God talking to you. Yeah. I think that God is literally, I sent you this idea. The reason I made you fail this way is because you needed to go through these other steps that would make you stronger and give you the mental or the resistance that you need in order to succeed on what I have planned for you next. Yeah. And a lot of people will sit there and, just, live kind of a very stagnant life of, okay, I'm going to sit here. I'm only going to focus on the afterlife. And I'm not saying it's not important. Like, we're not saying it's not important to focus on the afterlife. We're saying only focusing on the afterlife and not fully utilizing the gift that God has given you here on earth. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, like, that's what we've had the conversation in terms of that's what can really hinder someone if they're not taking it as a sense of motivation or as a sense of God is with me as I'm growing and communicating with me, and rather than, and if instead they're taking it as, all right, I'm going to sit here and whatever's meant, my opportunity is going to knock on my door. Yeah. And if it doesn't, it's because it wasn't meant for me. That's so in the meantime, I'm just going to sit here and pray, and then, that I make it to heaven, and then that's just what it's going to be. I'm going to stay in the struggle.
Yeah. Right. And, good.
I was going to say, when it comes to religion, I don't have the greatest views, but I know eventually, there is something possibly in the afterlife, but I'm very, very practical about life. A lot of people say, God blessed me, or, God gave me this gift, or, even I seen recently, this plane, a wall just ripped out of the plane in the air, and the two people that were supposed to be sitting in that spot that day didn't get on the plane. And they were like, damn, imagine if those people were on the plane, God saved them. But to me, it's
I do think that God saved them, though.
But my whole idea is, why would God rip the wall out of the plane in the first place, but then say, these two people, you know what? I don't want them to be on. So I'm going to pull them off the plane, but I want the wall to just rip out of the plane. Because I'm like, what's the sense behind that?
Yeah.
I don't get it. And people say God has a plan for you. Well, are we in a movie or do we have free will?
That's a good question.
I think that's a great next topic.
I can get up in here right now and wild out and do something and go outside and kill someone.
Mm-hmm.
If it's God's plan, then what do I have to worry about the afterlife for? He wanted me to do that. He wanted that person to die at my hands. Yeah. Or is it really my responsibility? People say,
I think it's the latter.
This gift and all that. Why do you have favoritism to have a gift over me?
That's a fact.
I think it's different.
I should be able to sit here and get upset that Tariq Hill is so fast and so good at football. Why did not have that skill?
Yeah.
Why do you have favoritism to him? So did you already choose who's your favorites, who's going to heaven, who's going to hell?
I think it's different. To me, I think it's less of I think every single person has a gift. I think so. When you say free will versus fate, the way that I understand it is, I think 100% we have free will. The idea of fate and destiny and what's meant for you, I don't look at it as whether I step this way or step that way, I will land here. To your point, right? Which is whether I try to be good or I go bad, it was my destiny to go out and wild out and, hurt someone. So I don't look at it as that way, which I think the majority of the people, that's the description and what you think about when you think about fate. This is where you're going to end up irrespective of what you're doing, which can come off as a contradiction to free will. The way that I think about it, and I've actually had a conversation with one of my close friends who was also my bridesmaids, and this enlightened me because, just really understanding what this means.
Unveiling.
And I think that free will, there's 100% free will, but I think that what it means to have a destiny or fate is that God has instilled talents or something special in all of us.
Yeah.
Not the same, very different, right? Whatever's meant for us or whatever is in us, right? And the purpose of the destiny and fate, those who reach their destiny and fate are those who are able to tap into that in this lifetime. And meaning that I'm meant to end up over there, and over there I'll have harmonious, equilibrium, harmony, whether it's riches, health. I may not be the richest, I may not be the poorest. My health may not be, but out of all the aspects, I would be the best version of myself and the happiest version of myself, right? In this lifetime. And I think that in order for me to get from here to there, it's not that it'll happen if I don't do anything. It's that God has instilled tools inside of me, a skill or something inside of me that if I pay attention and if I learn and try to be unveiled, right? If I understand the idea of consciousness, subconsciousness, the idea of how the mind works, the idea of paying attention to those random imagination. I definitely think imagination is the preview. Steve Harvey says it, the preview of a coming attraction of what God has for you, and only you can see that. No one else can see what you've seen that you can do. Right. And so taking those little hints that God's throwing at you and the skills that are in you already to build whatever, the little car, the ship, the boat, the fire, whatever you need to build in order to get to that destiny and get to that fate. I think that's the idea of fate. But the free will aspect comes, you don't have to tap into that. And if you don't tap into that, you will never reach that fate.
I agree with that. You know what's scary, bro?
Don't scare me. It's late.
I'm not trying to scare you, right? It's gonna be me.
When I heard this house.
When this guy told me this, I was defeated, right? we were having a conversation about religion and all of that. And then everybody was giving out their opinion and all of that. He was drinking. He came, sat down, right? He was like, well, what I think is, because I went through an experience that none of us in that room went through. So he said that he in Nigeria, he got into a motorcycle accident. There was two of them on a motorcycle. I think he was sitting in the back. Another guy was driving. When they got into a motorcycle accident, his friend didn't make it, right? His friend passed. But he made it. But he was in a coma for, I don't know if it was two weeks to a month, but he was in a coma, right? So stuck in a limbo. So when he came out of that coma, he said he looked at life completely differently, right? And I was like, what do you mean? It said, everything you guys are saying right now is beautiful. It said, but when we die, it's a clean slate. There's nothing. I said, what do you mean? There's nothing. It said, like, absolutely nothing. There's nothing there. I said, how did you come up with this conclusion? It said, when I was in that coma, right? Like, he said he was in a vegetable state. Like, everything was blank. It was quiet. It was nothing, right? And then he was like, so that's why I'm telling you, when we die, there's nothing. That's just the end. It's silence. So I was like, okay, but you weren't dead, right? I said,
exactly.
You were in a vegetable state. You're almost dead, but you weren't dead.
You were here.
So I'm like, how were you conscious of you being in that a state of just bright lights and nothing and quietness? Because your brain was still functioning, right? So you weren't completely dead. So the same way we're saying that we think there's an afterlife, and the same way you're saying that there's no afterlife, we don't know because we haven't died yet. You were half dead, not completely dead, right? So at the end of the day, it's all a guessing game. But when he said that at that moment, because he talked about an experience that I didn't go through. So you sit there, you think about it, what if? And then that's very, very defeating. And then that was very scary to me because I was like, what's the point of me having all of these memories? What's the point of all of this? So what's the point we doing all this for? We doing all this to die? Right? So that's
the one thing, right? That's guaranteed.
So you got to get up every day knowing you're going to die.
That's a guaranteed thing.
Life is risky.
Jim Rohn says you got to take risk because life is risky. Let me tell you how risky life is.
Risky.
You're not going to make it out alive. So
you're not gonna make it.
Do what you got to do.
So at the end of the day, we can have all of this conversation, left, right, this, that, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, information, like Carmen said, education, motivation, and get yourself right. For the time you got on earth with your family, friends, take that time, enjoy it.
Treasure it.
Live your life at the to the best ability and become great. And then just, not try to struggle and then make as much money you can.
Tap into your destiny.
Yeah, and just be
unveiled.
That's the whole point of this. This was a great conversation.
Let's come up with a law. Tap into your destiny. That's what I say.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to add on to that?
Man,
I know Kevin is on the other side of like.
If you ask,
is there a destiny to tap into?
Listen. Let me say this. If you out of shape, tap into the gym. If you ashy, tap in with some lotion. And then if your lips is ashy, tap in with some Carmex. Yeah.
I just say that the law is tap in.
Okay.
Tap in. Tap into something.
All right.
Tap in.
All right. Tapping in. Tapping in.
Wow, 5 at the top. All right, let's get it with the law.
All right. Okay. You don't want to. I say tap in with your destiny, but
I say tap in if your feet is
you don't
ashy.
think there's a destiny?
No, I don't believe in destiny.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I did. You ever played the game Destiny?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's a lot of shooting in that game.
I really don't believe in destiny, man. I don't believe in.
Yeah, I believe in hard work and persistence.
I could quit everything I'm doing right now and go be an airplane pilot. Like, how do I know which was my destiny? Was my destiny this or that?
Wherever you apply yourself to.
It's the imagination. No, whatever comes to your imagination is your destiny.
I believe in the tools. Like, if I'm born 6'8", 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna be a hooper. 6'8". I'm just geared for that. Right. If I'm bored a person who don't like to socialize with people, I like to be on a computer every day. Probably gonna be a computer scientist or a developer or something. So I agree with that part, but I don't think it's your destiny.
So you're saying
I think your destiny is whatever you imagine, whatever comes to your mind.
So you saying if you're 6'8", you're probably gonna be a basketball player. If you're around computer, you're probably gonna be whatever. So he's saying since I've been around a whole bunch of liars, is that why you lie? But look, I feel like I'm gonna comment a little bit. I don't believe in destiny. I just believe like you create your own destiny, right? And I also think like wherever you apply yourself the most, that's where you're gonna succeed.
Yeah, but I think when creating your own destiny, there has to be destiny to create, right? So like I said, I think over there, that path potentially is, or for me to be right there or do whatever that's over there, it could be my destiny, right? But I need to create my path. So I don't disagree with what you're saying.
So you're
But
saying
I
it's
think
already there for you, you just gotta go get it.
No, I'm saying that if this is what will be best for you if you get it, right? Like, but you need to create that path. Whenever you imagine like all of this success, or you imagine you could do this, you could do that, to me, that is God. That's tuning into what is there for you, you know? Yeah. The imagination is the preview of a coming attraction if you put in action. So, either way, we could do tap in.
Nice, no wrong. Let's just create the unveil law.
Let's do tap in. He said tap in.
Tap in?
I said tap into your destiny, but we're going to just put tap in.
Tap in as what? As the law?
Tap into your, I would say tap into yourself.
Hey, yo, pause. I am not tapping myself.
Tap in, meaning...
Because I said tap into your destiny.
Your destiny, if there's a destiny, it's within yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If there are God-given gifts, it's within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, tap into yourself and find what it is you believe in and use that.
Okay. Tap into yourself.
So, I mean, you know, I had some...
Okay, what's yours?
So now, I was... Oh, we're doing tap in?
No. I thought you were saying you have some comments on the law, the unveiled law.
Me? So what did you guys? What did we come up with? Tap in into
yourself.
Tap into yourself.
I would say tap.
No, I'm joking.
I would say tap into bettering yourself. Not like
tap into bettering yourself.
Tap into bettering yourself, which means like any way that you see, whatever destiny you think is best for you, tap into that path and better yourself. Mm-hmm. So.
I was gonna I had something a little different. Mm-hmm. Mine was gonna go towards more like, let your struggle and your pain feel the fire in you, so you can, you know, hopefully, tap into yourself.
You don't like what he said?
Okay,
tap into yourself to better. Tap into better yourself to bettering yourself.
Mm-hmm. I would say.
I don't think he likes it.
Or
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's not only my decision. It's the group decision.
What's it called? Understand what you believe in. Because like we talked about, is it a hindrance? Don't follow it blindly. You believe destiny. Wake up every day. Destiny is going to take me to where I got to. No, understand what destiny is. What does that mean?
What does that mean to you?
And if you don't believe there's destiny, well, what does that mean for you?
So do we say that hard work lead you to your destiny?
I mean, is that what you believe in?
I mean,
somebody may believe it. I just gotta wake up every day. God's gonna take me to my destiny. If that's what you believe in,
first class.
You know what I mean?
Would destiny be something that you think that? Will it be something that you want, or it's just whatever comes, you think that's your destiny?
I think his point is understanding what that means for you.
Exactly.
He said,
understand what does it mean? Because somebody may say, some people say like, God wanted me to be here. Mm-hmm. You know, some people like quit the industry to go be pastors or do something. They're like, nah, God wanted me to be this.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say they're wrong. That's what works for you. He's happy there.
Yeah.
That works for him. So that's him.
So okay. So if somebody ended up in a bad situation and they believe that's their destiny, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say you work hard for something and you never get it for the rest. You never get there. But we know you don't put sweat and tears. You never get there. Mm-hmm. And then so you're gonna say, God didn't want me to do this. He want me to. But inside you're still bitter because you didn't get to that destiny that you thought you were supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
I think your free will didn't fuel you.
It's more nuanced than that. It's too complicated.
That's why I said that. But understand what it.
Yeah,
what it
I think
means.
the law understand what you believe.
So understand whatever comes.
Because if you do that, you're just abusing it, and that's really between you and yourself.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see that. Yeah. Some people, they didn't get to where they want, but they wouldn't plastered themselves somewhere else and act like this is what God's destiny was.
Plaster is wild.
Yeah.
Man.
So understand
understand your belief.
Because some people may always say,
Understand your belief.
I'm going to reach my destiny one day. What does that mean?
Understand your belief.
And
that could even mean not just in what you said in terms of like, okay, understand even what it is, even when you say your destiny or where your trajectory is, understanding what that means for you, but also in what you said, like what your frustration had been for all those years, right? People not understanding what they believe in. They just do repetition or they just do what they're told. And sometimes even mixing culture with religion, you don't even know what's what, like, what's actually religion, what's actually culture. So understand your belief. At the end of the day, understand your belief. Number one, for you, it's a personal experience and it's a personal growth. And understand your belief to that, as you go through your path and, and thinking about what's for you and where you'll end up.
Okay, let's concise it up.
Understand your belief.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh. That is.
That's what he said.
Understand your belief.
That is.
Understand your belief.
That is not it.
You don't like that?
I nodded. I said, but that is not it. Bro, come on.
Really?
What I'm saying, understand your belief. That's how like my teacher told me that when I was in the 8th grade. And my Karamoko did.
No.
He like, come on.
Nah, they didn't. I feel like they didn't say understand your belief. They just said do it. Just cause. Why? Because
they do it,
there's no need to understand.
Do
it or I be.
Nah, but
What about we put the two? Understand your belief and tap into bettering yourself.
Right, that makes sense.
yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
See, that's nice. It's not vague and it's concise.
Okay. Yeah, because the reason you want to understand your belief is to better yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's spiritually, career-wise, emotionally, whatever, confidently, right?
So this was a great, wonderful show. I'm telling you, man, we had so many different like insights, so many different thoughts, opinions,
experiences,
ideas. This was great. This was lovely. So
and this shows that you can have different opinions and yet be able to have a discussion to understand each other's point of view and continue and move forward and get an unveiled, thought and moment out of it,
Yeah.
So.
And it was really great. I'm happy for having my friends here. We share some like, thoughts and like, great ideas. So we're just gonna end it here. This is the Unveiled Mindset podcast show hosted by us two. This was a great show, and don't forget to subscribe.
Down below, make sure you like, subscribe,
Unveil_mindset on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. You feel me? So all I got to say, life come with grief, but at the end of the day, us here, we gotta believe. Cause if I have 2 straps over the shoulder, they're gonna call me Steve. I'm just gonna stop it there. I'm really nice with it though.
I already know he was
Harvey.
The devil's best friend.
I said, you better clarify for people.
You talking about the devil's best friend. The devil and his best friend. The devil was my best friend, but we were in your house. That's why when it was really that one night and it was thundering real hard, I knew the devil was there, bro. I started getting close to Captain. I said, get both of us. I said, don't take me. Take both of us. The devil grabbed me by my leg. I grabbed Captain by his leg. I said, anta.
Astaghfirullah. But nah. But clarify. Now it's distance, right? There is.
It's distance. I didn't put this. First of all, listen. Don't listen to him. When I say devil, I just wanted to connect with the people.
Nimsa wants clarification that he's not still in this house.
No, he's not here. Look, I'm not gonna lie. He's definitely not here. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why. I told him, he said, how you get here this time? I said, look, bro, I'm driving. He said, I'm not doing that. He said, I'm not doing an 8-hour drive with you. So, guess where I left it at? With my cousin. And guess who my cousin? Kamina's brother.
That nigga took spirit. He's in Hawaii right now. He got 2 more layovers.
That man is a spirit. But it was a great, wonderful show, man.
Thank you.
You see, bro, why you don't tell black people your pain? So the whole time I'm telling them, like, I'm being, like, sincere. The man said, the man think about a joke. He probably, Captain was like this. Look.
Man said the devil was my best friend. Yes, I'm thinking about that.
So look, Captain, that's how I know. I knew Captain had 3 jokes for me, right? This is what he did. So when I was talking, you see the Malcolm X picture when he was like this, right? So I see one hand, and I said the devil twice. Cabinet did 2 hands. Then I said the cabinet did 3 hands. And when he had all 5 fingers and leaned back, I said, I got to stop it. And I said, the angel. Cabinet, he put his hand right back. Nah, it was a great show, man. This is the Unveiled Mindset podcast.
Make sure you guys follow us and stay tuned for the next episode.
We out.
Bye.
It's like Numi got the Uzi, man. She always speaking facts. She be dropping bombs, make all of them double back. Then the crime raises. It's something they never gonna get that, but it's cool. Let's sit back. Let's chit chat. Unveiled Mindset.